Hello everybody, welcome to a video. I am not doing a live for this project. I didn't want it to be too intense, so I thought I would just do a video on it. But this is the bundle that I'll be using. It's on page 14 and 15 of your annual catalog. On page 14, it does give you a bundle, a suite number, so you can get everything that is on page 15 of your catalog with one bundle price. That just kind of helps that you don't forget anything in the suite. I love that Stampin' Up! Has come out with that. It is literally life-changing because you don't want to ever forget anything. So that is what the catalog looks like. Let me bring in the bundle. So here's the stamp set and here are the matching dies. This die actually makes your ribbon fray, so it is super fun. So there's a lot. Here is the gorgeous designer series paper. As you can see, I have used some of it. I haven't used much of it. This is actually, I think, my second card with this design, but I've used it on a Facebook Live not too long ago. So let me bring in the card we're going to be making. So here it is. This is how it sits. This is not something that you will want to mail. You definitely want to hand deliver it. But I'm going to pull the box out, and on the inside, it's blank. You could definitely put a stamp on the inside if you want, but this is what it looks like. And then inside our box has some candy. It actually holds quite a bit of candy, I think. So I am going to teach you how to make this today. So we are going to start with the box first. So I have a piece of our bubble bath designers or bubble bath cardstock. It is 6 by 6. So we are going to come in with our scoring tool and we are going to score this at 2 inches and 4 inches. And then I'm going to rotate and score at 2 and 4 again. But before I take this out, I'm going to come up to the 4 1/4 inch mark, and I am just going to score down until your first score line meets. And I'm going to come over here to the 1 3/4 and do the same thing. Then I'm going to rotate it one more time and do the exact same. This is going to give us our edge to be able to attach our box together. So there's that piece. And then I have a piece of 3 by 3. This is our berry burst, and we're going to score this at a 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. So 1/2 inch, rotates, 1/2 inch, rotates, 1/2 inch, rotate again. So now we have our top to our box. I think that is all we're going to need our scoring tool for, so I'm going to set it aside. So I'm going to start with the lid to the box. So when you are making boxes, as long as all 4 of your sides are the same, your box will fit together. So I'm just going to trim, and I'm just going to take a little smidgen out of the side of both sides. This is just going to help our box form. So take a little smidgen out of the tab, and then whatever you do to one side, you need to rotate and do to the exact opposite side. So one left, trim, trim, and pull that guy out. Then you can kind of scooch over your debris. And because this was super tiny, I just went ahead and used some mini glue dots to attach. So I'm going to come in and put a mini glue dot on each tab. Sorry, I'm going to flip this over and do it on the top of my box. I'm just going to put one on each corner. There, let's make sure it's stuck. And there we go. So now what I'm going to do is, because this is the lid of my box, I don't want to butt up the edges super tight. I just want to leave a little smidgen of a gap. That is just going to help where it's not going to be too snug on your box. So I'm just going to come in, and you'll see when I do the box, I am going to make that super snug. So there we go. So there's our lid. Now we can come in with our bone folder, and we're going to fold on all of the score marks. This is going to form our box. So there we go. So I'm going to start cutting on the side where I did the 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to cut down that score mark, and then I'm going to come over here and I am going to cut this square off. Well, it's not quite a square anymore. And then I'm going to come in and angle these 2 pieces. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to rotate it and do the exact same thing. So I like to angle these pieces just because it makes your box fit nice and tight. So I won't lie, this is only my 2nd time making this card. So I hope I don't forget any steps. If we do, we will learn together. And you probably will hear my dogs barking. My husband might be coming home from work. There might be a little bit of ruckus going on. But I've been wanting to do this for the last few days, and I just have not had the time. So I said I am doing it today. Okay, so here is our cute little box. I'm going to grab some tear and tape, and I am going to put tear and tape on all 4 of these little tiny edges. And the one nice thing about tear and tape is you don't need scissors to tear it. You can literally just use your fingernail. Oh, there's a little bit of shrapnel left. And then one more. So our box is almost done. Going to peel off the edge. And remember how I said on the lid, I didn't go super close and tight. This one, I definitely am. So give that a good press. And we're going to do this on all 4 sides. There we go. Yes, I definitely think my husband just got home because the dogs are going a little crazy. Not sure if you can hear them in the background. Oh, let's pull this apart. It needs to go a little bit tighter. There we go. So now our lid is going to come in and sit right on top of our box. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's start with the card base. So our card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So you want to go ahead and fold your card base in half and give it a good crease. We are going to bring in our paper trimmer because we have to cut this a few times. So with your scored side up at the top, you're going to slide this up at the top of your paper trimmer, and you're going to slide this over to the 1-inch mark. And we are going to cut down to the 1.5-inch mark. So you're going to take your blade and cut down to the 1.5-inch mark. And then we are going to scooch this over to the 2.5-inch mark. And we are going to take this and trim it down to the 1.5-inch mark as well. Then you're going to flip this up. We're going to rotate it. And we are going to just cut this end off at the bottom. And I believe it is at the 2.5-inch mark. Oh, nope, 2 3/4. So you're going to line this up and cut down. So now this piece should come right out. There we go. You might have to tug on it a smidgen, but that is how you're going to get your little crease where your box is going to sit inside. Kind of cute, right? A little funky, but super cute. Okay, so now we need to do our basic white and our designer series paper. So this is our basic white and it's 4 by 5 1/4. So what I'm going to do is put the 5-inch side up at the top, and I'm not going to do both at one time. I'm going to slide this over to the 3/4 of an inch mark, and we are going to cut it down to the 1.5. We're going to do the same thing. So then I'm going to scoot this over to the 2 1/4. I'm going to slide this down to the 1.5. And then we're going to rotate, and it should be at the 2.5-inch mark. Oh, didn't quite get that edge. So now you can lift up your arm and this will slide right out. So now this piece is going to go on the outside. So we have to do the same exact thing for the inside unless you're using the basic whites, the thick basic white. If you're using a basic white cardstock, you don't need to do 2 of these. I'm doing 2 because I am using the Berry Burst cardstock. So slide it down to the 1.5, flip it around to 2.5, and trim this off. So there we go. So now we have 2 identical pieces. You could try cutting them at the same time. I'm not that brave yet, but maybe eventually. So now we have our designer series paper. This is 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm going to slide this in at the 1/2 of an inch mark. So we're going to do the same exact thing. So I'm just scooting it backwards by 1/4 of an inch so we have that gap. So now this one is going to go to 2 inches. I'm going to slide this down, and then we're going to rotate and cut this edge off. Oh, didn't quite cut that, but I'm just going to give it a little snug, a little tug, and it's done. So now all we have to do is glue all these pieces together. So it is definitely a different design. It is not that hard once you get the hang of it. So I practiced just the one time yesterday, actually a couple days ago, and I wrote down my notes, so I had everything beside me. But it really, once you do one, it goes pretty quickly. I don't think I'll be making 100 of these like I usually do, but making a couple is perfect. So I'm just gluing the pieces together. And you can feel free to decorate it as you wish. I do have my pieces already cut and ready to go. I'll bring those in a second. And I wished I was going to, and then I forgot. Before you put your box together, you can definitely take the little stamp set that's in here. Let me grab the stamp. Sorry, everything's sitting on top of it. You can take the confetti or this one over here and you can stamp around your box. I meant to do that and then I forgot. So do that before you attach your box. Be a little bit easier. So there we go. This is going to go on the inside. Perfect. Now, because I didn't want this to be a 3-hour video, I went ahead and pre-cut and stamped all of the images that I wanted to put on the front of my card. And I went ahead and put the adhesive dimensionals on the back of it, and I laid it on my silicone mat. So literally, as I need it, I'm going to pull it right off. It's still super sticky, and I can just lay it on my card. And I will tell you, this little piece that I heat embossed is the scrap of this piece. So don't waste your scraps. Don't throw your scraps away. You can definitely still use them. And I'm just going to come over here and put some balloons on. And then bring my box in. On my original box, I did put a piece of the scrap from cutting the designer series paper. I did put a piece on the bottom of it. It doesn't look like I brought that over. So we are just going to lay this right on top. And make sure you don't put any dimensionals at the top of your balloon because you don't want to close your box by accident. So now you can just slide your box inside your card. Make sure to add your little goodies to it. And it actually holds it up fairly well. Actually, very well. I do not have a problem with this falling over. And it is super cute, super fun, and definitely different. I have not seen one of these in a very, very long time. And I was super excited that I remembered how to put it together. It is definitely not something that you're going to mail. You definitely want to hand deliver this. You could maybe even put this on a gift bag. Just make a little slot for this to slide into, so that could be the front of your gift bag. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this because I definitely loved this. And I do suggest working with candy that you don't like to eat, because as soon as I'm done doing this video, I think these candies are going to be gone. So work with candy you don't like to eat. That is an extra tip for you. Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.